Call this meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, and we will do a roll call, please. Ms. Art.
Here.
Ms. Hutchinson.
Here.
Mr. Byers excused. Ms. Ensley.
Here.
Ms. Gates. You, Mr. Heiler.
I'll text him.
You. Ms. Howland. Ms. Powell.
Here.
Mr. Ringler is present. Public comments, those citizens wishing to speak on agenda or non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time during the meeting citizens are allowed to address the DDA. Please state your name and address for the record if you would like.
Wanted to introduce Sergeant John Paulson. I don't know if those of you that didn't know, Sergeant Todd Probst retired. He's enjoying retirement now. Sergeant John Paulson is now Cedar Springs Sergeant. I think several of you introduced yourselves already to John, but these are most of your downtown business owners. Good to put a name to a face and
Did a short start. I have to come to these meetings already.
I just asked today if he could come, to meet all of you, so.
Me too. You did good.
Want to introduce who you are and let him know what business you represent, or?
Allie Howland, the Cedar Chest.
Jody Arp, the Redbird Bistro and Grill.
From the brewery.
I don't own a business. I'm just the mayor. Lisa.
Laura Ensley, the real estate, yeah.
Rose Powell, neighborhood rep.
Oh, we all drive. Do you want to know that? No.
Yeah.
White Tesla, just so you know.
It becomes regular, so.
Did we have a party for Probst that we didn't know about? We should have.
No, he was sneaky.
Sneaky,
Hmm.
but they call
Sheriff's Department, they got him.
him. Did you?
That checks a box, doesn't it?
To call him and make some excuse to get him in or something.
Yeah, we should.
All right, well, welcome. Alrighty, let's move on then to conflicts of interest. Any ex parte communication we should be aware of? Otherwise, the agenda is before you. If everyone's had a chance to look at that, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the previous meeting of October 21st. You will find that contained in your packet, along with a motion to file and accept the financial reports. If everyone's had a chance to look at that, I would also entertain a motion to approve.
To approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Status.
I second.
Zarp, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Agenda carries. Unfinished business, hearing none and seeing none. We move on to new business, which is an update, taking a look at our 5-year strategic plan. We did go through this exercise 2 years ago. And I asked the city manager to include this in the packet. Hopefully you all had a chance to look at this once again to kind of refresh ourselves before the meeting. But as you recall, we had an evening meeting over at the firehouse and as a workshop to create a list of priorities, which are contained starting on page 9 in your packet. And I thought it might be a good idea to take a look at these and revisit them if there are any concerns, shifting, additions, subtractions. I mean, a few things have obviously been checked here since we performed this exercise. So we established a number of priorities, 4, 5 priorities, which included recreation and annual signature events, improvements and renovations to existing buildings, creation of new off-street parking lots, commercial, business and building development and redevelopment, along with a cohesive, standardized, citywide signage standard. Those are all contained in our packet.
I did get some very nice compliments about our signs and how they look and go together.
It's that sign committee.
So.
It's a year we meet. Is there anything on this list that we think has changed? Is there anything that maybe needs to move up, is a little different, anything that needs to be added?
I think we're doing good on parking, don't y'all?
Were there any other areas identified for off-street parking lots, like the Second Street one that I'm not aware of? That I should be focusing on?
Kind of fixing up the one that's next to the nail salon. At one point there over by the vacant. But I mean, the big goals were obviously the one on Second Street and the one behind Ensley's, so. See, they're doing some work and
A couple years ago, we repaved that one.
I don't get down there often. I see they're working on the little park and the old fire station today. That looks, yeah.
Dwayne McIntyre, who's worked very hard on that.
Dave, what parking lot were you talking about next to the hair salon?
That's the one.
Oh.
I didn't realize it had been repaved. Like I said, I don't generally use it. I know it had been a topic of discussion at one point.
I've often looked down the alley between the new fire station and the businesses in that alley. It looks kind of gruesome. It might be something we could with.
Well, the house that's behind the house that's behind the
Fire barn.
fire barn, is there a long range plan with that at some point?
Marty's house.
Behind or beside?
That was pre-you, wasn't it?
All, we were trying to get him to take the garage down. The whole property, but. Yeah. But as far as the alley though, those are all privately owned. That's not a public alley.
Okay.
Owned right back to the property line where the fire station is.
The alley on the side of our parking lot.
Well, that lot's gotten a lot better too, so
Yeah.
both private and public, yeah.
I am so proud of what we've done to this city in the last 10 years. It went to like downtown looked like a ghetto. Different areas of downtown looked horrible and now look at it. It's just constant compliments on what we've done.
The former city manager for reorganizing this,
Yes.
been able to do and some of these things too. So obviously the city council's done a lot more than we have, but it's still been nice to contribute with this body.
We're all a team and it's really been a great pleasure to 2 or 3, I think, I don't know how many, this one planning commission and ZBA. So for now.
Everyone had a chance to read through any of these? Is there anything that's inappropriate or anything else that we're missing in terms of our priorities as a DDA board?
I'd like to review priority number 2, improvements to and renovations of existing buildings. I mean, other than me going to that business and saying, here's a facade grant application. More discussion behind that, like, you know, the DDA met today and our goals are to have blah, blah, blah. We can help you get into compliance or spruce up your building. I don't know, looking for some. Yeah,
So, when I had Jose's building listed, I told her that grant was available and I hope she reached out to you, did she? back. So it's too late now. But maybe the one next to it, she could do something with that. I think that there be a letter sent out or one of, the workers that we have drop packets off to every single business in town. That way we're not singling out anybody. And if anybody else wants to do anything, right? They can do it. Because who all took advantage of that? Me?
Mhm. Baker's Insurance and Red Flannel have plans to do the front
Something
of their
together,
building.
right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna do something unified, yeah. I think it would be really cool if we did that because a lot of the local business owners, when I tell them, they literally have no idea. And I think it should go, even if they rent them out, maybe it should go to the renters who maybe can,
Owner, yeah.
it'd be phenomenal if Perry had something done with the front of his building. His building is beautiful. And it could use some stuff. Yeah.
But
Plans, yeah.
We had a facade grant. Do you know how many years ago it was?
That's,
Sonia
I think headed that one up.
That's true. And I was on that team to review them. And quite a few people did utilize it at that time, but I think it's because there was somebody behind it pushing it along and trying that Sonia. She was meaning, she used it,
or that represented the DDA and passed them out or?
She was part of this
on the
workshop. She
facade.
came, well, she also came to this workshop that when we did this, she attended that and and attended several meetings advocating for this, but not that it's her responsibility. We haven't really seen her since, but point taken, if there's somebody out there communicating, we don't have our part-time staff member for DDA right now, right? Is that coming back next summer? Okay.
I thought it worked really well. She did a great job.
Just to have her posting on events too.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know how different the one that we had earlier was. Is this, they apply to you for the grant or do they apply? So you got a certain amount. So that must have been what it was, cause we reviewed it and okayed the monies. Because we had a standard. Do you have a standard set for what? No, but I mean, like materials and all that, to okay the materials and stuff. Okay, yeah. So it's the same, must be the same. But yeah, I think that maybe, how long do they have for this one?
They apply to complete the project.
Until your monies are gone?
I mean, we budgeted 15,000.
That's when that happened.
Yeah, only spent what, $5,000? Yeah.
Other local programs.
Okay.
And our previous program in
Yeah.
Cedar Springs
Okay.
before this board put
Yeah.
together a program. And as mentioned, the Ensley Real Estate was the one that's done it so far, but it was a pretty simple process, I think. And yeah.
But I agree with you though, bringing this stuff to them
I think
and
it
maybe
should,
having
like,
a
someone
one-on-one,
explain
somebody
it
telling
to
them, yeah.
Explain it to them, how it works and how easy it is. Would be super beneficial.
harder times right now than it was back then, I don't know, depending.
It's got to be in February. Is that, and then it's approved by May? Is that a,
Got it in at any time, right? Like, we would love to do it. There's a few businesses in our town that could really, really probably use it, And maybe it's a like, Says had no idea. And I was like, you need to use this, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Why not get an additional 5,000 and do more?
A match.
Yeah, it's a matched grant, yeah.
If we look at these priorities, again, we have the annual events. I think we've made some progress there, certainly.
Yeah, I did notice that reading through this, that there have been quite a few things achieved.
The renovation of the existing buildings, obviously, we just talked about the parking. Is that something we can move off this priority now? Are we comfortable with where we are?
Need to keep in mind as this town grows, potential spots for more parking lots because As we get bigger, we're going to need more parking.
And then, commercial redevelopment. I don't know as if we've really done much towards that right now.
Well, are there any buildings in town that are identified that need to be like?
Roundup.
Well, around that.
Yeah, that one's. And it's the other one on my.
Didn't that just sell? Somebody just told me that.
Triple B.
Triple B, yeah.
So,
LLC bought it. They have yet to
Anything with it?
let us know what their plans are.
Hmm.
But
Hope they tear it down and start from scratch.
I did get a phone call from what is the, oh geez. The library, then there's Mrs. Brown's Gardens.
Oh,
House, that's that next house. Yes. If the city wanted to buy that house. I'm like,
across the street from there too.
it's bigger. They don't want it anymore. I'm like, well,
It would have to be a demolish. Yeah, because if it's a rental, it's been a rental. And we don't want to have to pay taxes on it. And be landlords to boot.
that actually shocks me. That was for sale at one point and had a pretty significant offer on it that they turned down. I know because I wrote it.
huh?
It's a street from there too, next to Cedar Auto as well. That building has been
With that person routinely.
good.
Right now. Ugh.
She's been in there working on it, I think. I think I seen her in there.
Well,
Service to take the tree down. That was kind of on two people's properties there, but
well, in terms of this and establishing our priorities, because I mean, we've been kind of at a wheel. We've been treading our heels a little bit, I think the latter half of this year without a lot of action. I mean, does this board feel it's worth perhaps doing another one of these strategic sessions and opening up and trying to establish priorities again? Is there enough on here for us to continue to work on? Obviously, we're going to have a budget again this year, so.
did spend a good chunk this year, 30,000 for the pocket park and 20,000 for the parking lot. So that was a good,
It goes with a culmination of exercises like this.
I think it would be smart.
To have another session. New input, some new people in the neighborhood, yeah. There's a lot of new people that seem to have moved in.
The city is gonna do their 5-year plan. Should it kind of be involved with that?
the master plan is more land use, not necessarily a priorities. I think it's two separate plans. I think the city council needs to do their own strategic plan, like citywide kind of thing, but again, that's your focus is DDA, 17 to 18 mile, kind of does not. No.
If you look at the bottom of page 9 and the top of page 10, those were some of the things that got votes the last time that we went through this. I think there were wider things mentioned. We had a facilitator that helped us with this meeting. But
Town would be wonderful, but I'm not gonna do it. But if somebody was interested in it, we are right in the middle of a federal trail and a state trail. It would be a great asset and a lot of work.
To meet certain criteria?
Trails. But there are guides and things to go by. through the trail, White Pine Trail Association and the North Country Trail organizations. Lowell has a trail event and it's up north. Not Newaygo, but a little farther. Has a big, big trail event.
What is the trail event? What is that?
It's just celebrating the walking trails, North Country Trail and
Do they do something special, like have
Yeah.
a long walk?
just
or-
about, yeah, all kinds of stuff. And it's kind of like maybe Red Flannel Day is with all kinds of different activities and races and
Do you want to look into that, Rose, and see what they're actually doing? And that might be something for us to talk about. Discussion.
I'll look at it.
Market
She
too,
just said
right?
She wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, those would all fall under signature events, so.
I'll try.
Find somebody maybe in the community that's interested in that kind of thing, that they'd be willing to head up to go with you, at least expose them.
Good. You want to go, Sal?
Bike event.
Could be tied in.
That's already established, already happening. Maybe.
Well, and the thing with that is that's always an early day thing. That's pretty much done by early afternoon, so. There's an opportunity to piggyback on that. I mean. But it's a different crowd. That crowd will end up leaving and then you have another. Right.
Yeah, and it might be able to extend the whole day, you know.
The road blocked off anyway, so.
How was your carnival event? Was
It
that
was
day?
fine outside of having them clean up. We had to go clean up all the library because they left trash everywhere, but
Oh, no.
we did. So, anyway, my point in this discussion was, you know, is it a good idea for us to maybe do another little retreat and reestablish some priorities for our board? I don't know that if we have anything pressing right now without doing that.
Yeah, it would just be good to get outside opinions from new people who have come to town too. What are their priorities? What are they looking to see?
It's a splash park.
Just a question, how are we getting information out since we don't have a local newspaper anymore? How are we getting any information out to anybody? That's it?
And it's hard to tell how the flyers in that sign down by the amphitheater, you know, who sees it, how many people see it, I don't know.
Ask me if we plan on doing another one in the park that we just finished in Heritage Park.
Uh,
Another information board. They said even put it on the outside of the bathroom, something like that. So there's more than one spot with that information in town.
Good idea. Cause that park gets utilized a lot.
Yeah. We get regulars that come to that park on certain nights of the week that will turn that little fireplace on and hang out. So
The Rockford paper, Squire, when I talked to the owner, she said she'd be more than willing to establish a Cedar Springs paper or a page. But somebody's got to do the work. They can do it, but I'm talking easy peasy. They've already got all the work experience, the printers. Just have to sell a few ads probably. So if somebody's interested in doing that kind of thing, and it's not going to be me.
The other night, one of them did. Darla, they were at the meeting the other night. Did one of them run the,
Ladies were,
I'll have to ask Judy, was that it? Cause I think they were with her.
I ain't about a paper and it's a free paper. It's everywhere.
The only sad part is I have many customers that don't do any internet, don't do any Facebook, social media. That's such a large lot larger segment than anybody believes. I mean, I have certain customers, the same thing as when I do estate sales, the first thing he says, well, you know, we don't do social media, so I never know. So I have to personally reach out to those people and make phone calls to them, and then I put flyers together in my shop for them. Because there's a ton of people that either can't afford it, number one, or they're ignorant of the internet and they don't want to challenge it. So I think we miss a big segment. People don't know it.
Results that we got back, our population is 60% retired people. Information to them people.
For that he does.
The little book that he's putting out monthly.
And that actually people stop in and grab it.
Go pretty quickly when he
Mhm.
drops off at Zach at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Consider that
For him.
for him or something, pay to put it in there. I mean, he's doing it on his own dime right now. I don't think you realize you're giving yourself another job, Perry.
Yes.
I think it'd be helpful.
Dave, you had mentioned the DDA person we hired this past summer. Didn't get a lot of applicants for that job, so I said, well, let's just give it a try, see where it goes. I think there's potential for her to do more for us, but I just kind of wanted to see how the first summer went and, baby steps.
Well, from my perspective, I mean, she was enthusiastic. She was active on social media, which is a part of that, which may or may not reach everybody, but I thought certainly she was helpful and it made the music in the park a little smoother to have somebody there that was, keeping an eye on things and helping people set up and tear down and all the rest. I don't know what else she was doing, but it was certainly an asset, so.
Street, water the flowers, weeded them.
He, so there was somebody taking weeds out of the cracks, spraying them and taking them out. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but let me just tell you, when you drive through a town and there's weeds growing up between the cement, I think it looks tacky, personally. So. And I noticed the difference when I was driving through town, but that just might be my OCD too.
All right. To wrap up this discussion though, do we want to then set, it sounds like we do want to try to set another event.
I think so.
Can we take a look at the calendar then? And I would imagine after the holidays is probably going to be best. It's slower for everybody to
Ish.
January, February, probably.
And the same person, did you like this person? A different person?
Would you have other people in your network that might be a meeting facilitator for us? Not that there's anything wrong, but it may be helpful to have a wider perspective.
Like Travis Alden from The Right Place,
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
facilitator. He was on a DDA, was maybe, he's very familiar with DDAs and their role and.
Root beer or something.
It's Tuesday and Thursday are best for me, except for the city council night.
I would assume an evening.
Think, yeah.
Unless we want to dedicate one of these meetings to it.
That would also work for me.
Invite,
Public.
who else do we?
In our district, I would think.
I would think any of the.
Should be invited, because it would be cool to get other people's opinions, not just ours.
Absolutely.
Probably. Do you think we could do it in an hour? We might have to have a longer.
Oh, no, it's
In a couple hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, before and
we'll
then.
have to extend that, yeah.
It would be nice to have a good recording. The last one, didn't really, was kind of icky
Order?
Yeah. On just a laptop. There wasn't much you could refer to here.
Yes.
Mhm. The library is about to purchase a camera. So, there's potential there. Right. Right. There. Yeah. Well, we can,
Well, if it's a workshop, I think doing it and getting our date set's gonna be the priority. I mean, it's nice if we can record it, but I guess the preference is gonna be whether we want to do it on one of our regular, in place of one of our regularly scheduled meetings, or do it in an evening. Figure out a time and get people invited, so. I'm flexible, I can do either one.
Yeah.
Anybody have a strong feeling?
Why we couldn't do it here. It wasn't like there was hundreds of people there.
A mic there that the
Well, we have
People
a
could
lot
come
of
up to-
chairs.
public can come up to the mic.
Well, if it's workshop, I think it's intimidating to sit here with the public and have us staring at them. It may, we
Oh,
may
yeah.
wanna,
Yeah, you
leave.
might want to make,
You guys can use my office, my training space upstairs. I can fit like
space upstairs too,
Yeah.
don't you?
stairs too.
so.
Yeah, then you can beat us.
Yeah. But as a starting point, do we wanna do it during this time or wanna do it in an evening?
I think you're probably gonna get more people to show up in an evening. I do too. Because most people work.
A lot of people aren't gonna close their shops.
Okay, so an evening sounds better? Let's start there then, if we can take a look at the calendar, Darla, and
It's that far enough ahead, I could, if you don't do it on a Tuesday or Thursday. Just still have a full-time job that I work at, couple nights a
I've got
week
two of
at.
them, would you like one?
Right.
And other stuff.
Oh, gosh, yes.
All right. Thank you all then. We'll look forward to getting that scheduled. I think we move on then to our calendar, which is noted in the packet. Do we have a city manager director's report?
Heard already. The city purchased the Rowland Building.
Was that who purchased it?
It's gonna be our future city hall / DPW. So I'm hope. City hall / DPW.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yep. So it'll probably take a year to hire a contractor, demolish, renovate.
Such a beautiful.
Not demolish the building, the interior, the insides. Oh, the building itself is structurally sound. Yes, we want to take some of that wood off the front, like the windows are all kind of wooded, boarded up. Bring back those original windows, get some daylight in there.
And then this would be targeted for redevelopment?
Be a for sale sign out front. So, yeah, that's the plan. We're really excited. We've been working on this for a year. And, DPW specifically, I mean, they've got stuff stored in, 4 different locations in the city, and would be nice to get 95% of our stuff in one location. I think the parking lot is much better than what we have here. So that's what I'm working on in my spare time. So
Cool. That's very cool.
that's my news for the day.
Awesome. Well, I think we'll move on then to trustee comments. We'll start with Ms. Rose.
Well, of course, the exciting news about a potentially new city hall, and I love that building. It's beautiful, and I think I've always liked that Art Deco style, but as fast as our city is growing, more room, and here we go. And other than that, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate all your cooperation and discussion about the important things of our city.
I'm good.
Your
Well,
Honor,
I've been elected for another year as mayor, so,
condolences or congrats?
well, a little bit of both, no. So I'm gonna, that first year, you're kind of just getting your feet wet, so I plan on working on more things, trying to get the city looking better. That's it.
Thank you. Sally?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to actually thank all of you. I think it's pretty rewarding to be on this group, this board. I think we've been pretty effective, given some of the restrictions we started with, and as we looked at that list, we've actually accomplished a few things. So I think I'm excited to look at what else that we can do. So with that, thank you so much, and I will adjourn the meeting, right? I don't need to. All right.